So for the start of our back-end functionality, we'll be creating Laravel migrations in case we need to move our database schema elsewhere. So you can see inside of my MySQL monitor, I've used a database called Short, and we have show tables returning an empty set. So there are no tables in here at all. Now inside of here, you're going to need to go into app.php and turn debug true. This just helps if you're going to come across any errors. You can actually see the stack trace there. And you'll also want to change your MySQL or whichever database solution you're using credentials here. I've changed mine to root, and short, which is the database I'm using. So we don't need these anymore. So inside of our MySQL monitor, we have no tables. Let's create some migrations. So inside of the URL short folder, I'm going to run php and artisan, and I'm going to say migrate make, and this migration will create our table that's going to be called links. So I'm just going to say create underscore links underscore table. Once that's done, and we head over to database here, migrations, you'll see that migration created, and you can see our class name is create links table, much like the name we gave it in here. So the migration will use the schema functionality in Laravel. So we're going to create a table here called links. Now we have a callback which is going to contain the argument t or table, whatever you want to call it, and we can now start to build up our schema. So I want an auto incrementing ID field. So I say t increments, and I call this field ID. I want to store a URL, obviously, so this is going to be string URL, and that's going to be a maximum of 255. We're also going to store a string, which is going to be the code, and I'll just give this 12 characters. And we also want to store the created at and updated at dates or timestamps or date time fields. So we use the timestamps functionality here. So inside of down, we just want to do the opposite. So in schema, we want to drop the links table. So let's try running this migration, and then we'll head back over to our MySQL monitor and check that these have worked. So we say php artisan migrate, and there we are, we've migrated successfully. So let's run the show tables command again, and you see that we've got two tables here. Migrations is obviously the table that keeps track of migrations, and links is the one that we've just built using that migration we created. So let's describe the links table, and you can see that everything is exactly as we expected, so we're now happy. We can roll this back to test it. So if we just do a php artisan migrate rollback, and we check this, that's great. The links table doesn't exist. That's what you expected. So let's run the migration again, and that brings that back. So we know that our migrations work now, so we can go on to build the rest of our functionality.